Again, we continue to follow our breaking news and sad news from the world of entertainment today. Canadian actress Catherine O'Hara has died at the age of 71. She's best known for her roles in films Home Alone, Beetlejuice, and on the small screen in TV's Schitt's Creek.
What else could we be forgetting?
One of those iconic moments. O'Hara was born in Toronto in 1954 as the second youngest of 7 children. After graduating high school, she took a job as a waitress at the Second City Theatre in Toronto, watching actors like Dan Aykroyd and Gilda Radner. She then joined the company herself in 1974 and shared the stage with Eugene Levy. She was a staple on the Second City show and in the 80s became known for impressions of celebrities and her numerous silver screen roles before moving clearly to the big screen. Again, Catherine O'Hara was 71 years old. With me now is Liz Duff, host of Late Night Scrolling, the Canadian pop culture podcast. Liz, I think, if I can speak for everyone in our newsroom, and I think beyond many Canadians, it's been a devastating afternoon to learn of Catherine O'Hara's death. Give me your reaction, again, as you learned this news today.
Shock is an understatement. I mean, I'm getting reactions from not just Canadians, but fans around the world of comedy, of television, of just great performances. Catherine O'Hara's work spoke to every corner of the world and really represented the best of what Canadian comedy is and what we can aspire to be. And I think a lot of people are not just heartbroken and devastated, but really taking the time to look at just the impact she had across borders.
Yeah, and I think that people are going to go back and look at, all of her entire body of work, which spans, you go back 50 years, talking about the 70s into the 80s, SCTV, and then into movies and into Hollywood with Home Alone and Beetlejuice and beyond that. And then, really a resurgence into the, back into for Schitt's Creek, which was such a hit worldwide too. Even her most recent work in the studio, she really did. It feels like she did everything.
I think her most recent work in the studio is worth revisiting in a moment like this, because I think it takes someone with such a storied and interesting career like Catherine's to really tap into what makes Hollywood tick and how Hollywood operates. And it's certainly a lens that she provided her character with. And I think that's the reason why it spoke to so many, not just in Hollywood, but around the world. She really captures the parody and the funny moments and the truth of who we are as humans in a way that I think is really defining of her career, but particularly that role in the studio is worth revisiting right now.
Yeah, give me your thoughts personally too. Her highlights and her career highlights for you. For me, I mentioned it before this afternoon. Home Alone. I think just for my age and where I was at, that those moments and her playing Macaulay Culkin's mother in those couple of movies and those couple of films will always be a standout for me. But what about you?
Certainly Beetlejuice, certainly Home Alone. I think a lot of her work on SCTV as a young comedian and as someone surrounded by, young comedians that are creating this next generation of Canadian comedy, her work on SCTV is the reason why she has the career she has, the people she worked with, the sketches that she did, the impersonations that she, captured better than I think anyone else could have at the time. It really was the foundation of her story, and it has stood the test of time, and it will never be repeated. It's only Catherine that could have made a mark on Canadian comedy like that.
And improv, right? You talk about SCTV and some of the improv that she did. Some people may not realize how hard it is, right? As we've seen tributes here, this is from TIFF to Toronto International Film Festival. Again, with some of these social media responses, this is a lot, and we're going to continue to watch this over the course of the afternoon. But that improv as well, right? Liz, it was so difficult, and she made it look easy at points.
Absolutely. I think Canadian improv specifically is its own beast. And I've had the absolute pleasure of talking to so many current day Canadian improv legends who are creating the next generation of Canadian improv. One being Vic Michaela, is based out in LA, but certainly a Canadian. And they spoke frequently of how Catherine was not only someone to look to for inspiration, but is truly the foundation of what modern Canadian improv is, and what today's systems and today's groups really aspire to build on and build more of. So I think that we'll hear more about her legacy in this new generation, creating this new genre of improv moving forward. Certainly she was the one to mark what the voice could be.
We did hear, again, her agency has told the Associated Press that she died at home after a brief illness. That's as many details as we have. Guys, can we bring it back up, that statement from Mike Myers, though, too, which, again, one of the first of many here tributes. So Mike Myers saying it's a very sad day for comedy and for Canada. She was one of the greatest comedy artists in history, an inspiration for millions, and above all, a very elegant lady, sending much love and condolences to her family. Again, coming from, some of those words coming from Mike Myers himself is certainly the statement and really who she was.
I think lots of artists are going to have to take their time to find the right words. I think Mike really speaks for many right now. I've also seen Macaulay Culkin posted a statement. Obviously, that was her son in Home Alone, of his heartbreak and how he thought he would have more time with her. I think that the outpouring of love is something that is going to take a lot of people a lot of time to find the right memories and words and photos for, but there's certainly not a shortage of reflections that can be made right now.
Yeah, her and Macaulay Culkin, again, have maintained that close relationship. She was just at his Hollywood star unveiling just a few years ago for it. Okay, Liz Duff, the host of Late Night Scrolling, the Canadian Pop Culture Podcast. Really appreciate your insight on this today, Liz. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much.